going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So if you're watching today's video on the day of release, happy 4th of July. I hope you guys have a great and safe holiday. If you're watching this after release, I hope you guys had a great holiday. Hope you guys got to have some good food. Maybe you got to hang out at the beach for a little bit like I'm about to go do here after I wrap up this video. But anyways, 1 year ago today, I made a video on my initial impressions of the car after owning it for 6 months. I gave you all the ins, the outs, my likes, my dislikes, everything about the car that I wish would change or whatever. Anyways, that video did pretty well a year ago. Link right here if you guys want to watch that. So today I'm not going to rehash any of that because basically nothing has changed in that 1 year, right? Everything I felt, I loved, liked, hated, wish I could change, has stayed the same more or less. There's nothing really that really bothers me as much to like reiterate, or nothing that I've gotten used to that okay, maybe it doesn't bother me. Everything I've said in that video still stays true to this day. So instead of rehashing everything again, I'm just gonna go ahead and go through the entire list of mods that I have done to this car, basically so I can answer a lot of you guys' questions. A lot of you guys ask constantly like what's all done to the car. It's not much done to the car in terms of like, you know, obviously it's still mainly stock-ish, but in terms of like handling and performance and all that, I've done a few things here and there to like just whittle down a few seconds of lap times at MSR. So I'm going to go through everything that I have done, everything that I have that's not on the car, like the wheels aren't currently on the car because I don't drive with those around as a daily. But anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on. There's chapters. Hopefully I can mark everything, exterior, interior, and performance will all be under one chapter. Hopefully, as long as I can remember it in the order I'm recording it. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so let's just go ahead and start with the exterior because I feel like that's going to be, you know, the easiest to go over. I guess first and foremost, here it is, a 2023 GR Corolla Core with the performance package. So obviously this is not a circuit edition. It's not the original color. This is Avery Denison, I believe it's light gloss blue, which was wrapped and done by Twan over at Clutch City Customs. About a year ago now, a little bit more than a year, so it's been a little over a year since I've had this wrap on the car. Obviously, if you guys remember or don't remember, a lot of new members to the channel, this car was originally black. It's just one of those things where like black, obviously, when it's clean, it's super clean. It's so beautiful, but the problem is keeping the black clean. I couldn't deal with it. That thing got dirty just sitting. So as soon as I could, I went, got it done. And yeah, here it is. But before I got that done, I actually had the roof done well before that over at JTP Automotive. I forget the name of the wrap. I'll post it here or put a link in the comments or the description box of what it is. But this is a gloss forge carbon wrap. It is not a real carbon roof. Obviously, if you guys are well aware, the Core doesn't come with the carbon roof. That is something that's only on the Circuit and the Morizo. Next up, I have the Circuit Edition wing. If you guys remember that video, I had this installed with my little toothpaste hack. And then on top of that, I have this little diffuser thing here that helps generate a little bit more downforce. Hopefully, in theory, that's how that's supposed to work. But yeah, sorry if this video seems a little bit rushed. It is like 102 degrees out here and my camera keeps telling me it's overheating like every 5 minutes. So I'm trying to rush through this as quick as I can. Right now, obviously, I don't have the wheels I normally have on. I normally have the TE37s with the Falken RT660s for track use. If you guys remember that video or that, I'll put a picture right here of how it looks with those wheels on. I don't drive around town with those because I don't feel like wasting the tires. And then, yeah, let's see. Next, I have the Circuit Edition brake ducts, which is basically the same thing as the Core, except mine are gloss black. I just went ahead, initially got these because I had it blocked off. I didn't feel like having tape block it constantly, so I just used my friend Tony's as there because it had the block off place. But then if you guys remember, I eventually got the 24 kit, so I ended up removing that. We have a tow hook here which I had to measure out and drill. A lot of you guys are asking me for the measurements. I never actually took the measurements. I just kind of guesstimated on where it was, and I just got super lucky. But whenever I have time, I'll pull it off and I'll try to measure it. But it actually wasn't too hard. Basically, you just kind of line it up. guesstimate, start with a small hole and then just kind of go bigger from there. But yeah. Let's see. I also have these LED sequential signals. So I believe this was like a little either amber piece or clear piece, but either way, it just threw off the line of the car, seeing how the bottom of it was black. And it just was a weird color. So now with the black sequential, it's like just really, really nice. It flows really, really nicely. It just looks overall a lot better. Obviously, I have the Gridlife stickers. Not really much, but just a little something. As far exterior wise goes, that is basically all in terms of like visual mods. Yeah, what can I say? It's very plain Jane. It's not really one of my show car builds, but oh, and then before I forget, obviously I also have the Circuit Edition hood that I picked up from Toyota a while back as well. But yeah, just a little quick tidbit that is not the factory hood. Anyways, yeah, that is basically it for the and then we will move on to performance mods. Okay, hopefully I can get through this quick without it overheating again. Anyways, so in terms of performance mods, there isn't very much visually, once again, because it's very basic stuff. There's no like side winding turbo or anything. Initially, I started off, if you guys remember, I had the K&N drop-in filter for the car, which I guess did okay for what I needed it to, but overall it was, I think I would have just saved the money overall. And well, now I probably would have went a different route because of more advancements in terms of like intake mods. But back then I just didn't like how the factory intake was sucking hot air from around this area right here, right after the radiator. Now there are things that like alleviate that. You get cool air from, anyways, that's neither here nor there. And then after that, I went to the V1 MST intake, which had a heat shield, and which I think did just fine because of like everything I was showing in terms of like heat dissipation. But you know how people are. So eventually MST came out with their version 2, which I have right now. It is an enclosed box. It even comes with this huge radiator shroud scoop funnel thing that connects to the intake, so it draws in all the air just like from factory, puts it in through here, sucks it up, and even has like an area to extract the heat from the radiator, and I guess kind of blow a little bit of air onto the engine if that's deemed necessary. And yeah, I haven't even been a minute and it's already overheating again. But anyways, I also have the MST Downpipe. If you guys remember that video, let's see if you can see it from here. You cannot see it from here, unfortunately. But you guys remember that video. I have a full downpipe in terms of like 3-inch all the way back. So it'd be the MST downpipe with the 6-element, I guess, mid pipe is what you would call it. And then from right here, obviously you have the Tom strut bar. I believe this was the very first mod in terms of performance that I installed for the car. And then obviously you have the Fortune 510 coilovers. If I remember correctly, is 8K in the front and 11K in the rear. That is definitely set up for track use mainly. You know, it's not as hardcore for track, so I can daily it, but I don't recommend it. If you guys are unaware of what you guys want, and if you go through Fortune Auto, you can definitely contact one of their chassis experts, tell them everything you have, what's done, what's taken out, what's added, yada yada yada, and they'll give you a recommendation based off of that. And then from there, connecting to the downpipe and the mid pipe is the MBRP dual tip center exit exhaust. I don't have the outer one. If you guys also remember, I also had the AWE exhaust, but that one was just way too heavy for track use. And in terms of like weight to this one, it just wasn't worth it. It did look and sound a lot better than the MBRP, but in terms of weight, without going full titanium, I think that is virtually my best bet in terms of like exhausts. And then after that, I don't know if I could get the video of it, but I also have the Cusco right there. That's one of them. I have the Cusco tie rods and camber adjustments, or toe adjustment and camber adjustments for the rear. That way I can go ahead and align my camber and toe for the rear, because there is no way to adjust that otherwise to the full specs that I want. yeah, real basic on mods. There aren't very many things. I do wish I had an intercooler. That is definitely one of the next things on my list. Oh, I almost forgot. I do have right here the Mishimoto oil cooler. If you guys aren't tracking your car and you aren't aware, this thing will hit on a day like today. I'd be in the 270s easily after like a 10-minute session, right? And like most modern day cars, once a car sees a certain temperature in the oil, it'll start to pull timing a little bit, so my laps get less and less consistent. And before this, driving around on today like today, I'd probably see right around 220 degrees in oil. But driving around now with the oil cooler, and I have a thermostatic plate. I believe the highest I saw today was like 200, and that was me sitting behind an 18-wheeler just stuck in traffic. Once I got moving again, it went down to about a 194. So the oil cooler is definitely a must on this car, right? So if you guys plan on tracking this car, an oil cooler is definitely the way to go. In terms of radiator, I don't see an issue with it. Like, I don't think I've ever gone past like 210 on track in terms of coolant, and then just cruising around town, even sitting at idle, I think I get it to about 190. So the cooling on this car is very well done in terms of like radiator fluids. Intercooler, I bet this thing, seeing how tiny it is, I bet it gets high in the air intake temperature sensors. So I definitely need to get into a front mount sooner or later. Probably rather sooner than later. But yeah, that's it in terms of performance, I believe, for the outside. So let's just go ahead and let my camera cool down. It is flashing at me. Hopefully it's recording. Let me go ahead and let this cool down, and then we'll move to the interior. All right, so moving on to the interior, I think the first thing you're going to notice is the fact that I do not have the stock seats. I have the Recaro pole positions right here as far as, you know, racing seats go. The factory seats, while more bolstered, I guess, for a Corolla, they just did not hold me in that well. So I needed something a little bit more snug. I used to have the Brahms, Falken something or others, but those were meant more for wide people, and they still did not hug me as well. So I eventually had to go to my Project Accord, rip out the pole position that was in there, put it in this car, and ever since then I've been snug as a bug. Yeah, and then next up you're going to see the Morizo shift knob. This one is weighted compared to the factory core one. And the difference between this one and the Circuit Edition is the fact that this one is Alcantara, or suede, whatever you want to call it, which was great when I first initially had it, but after a year and a half of driving, it's definitely worn down. So I definitely recommend, if you could get the Circuit Edition, the leather one, just go ahead and do that. And then obviously I have the center console wrapped in the same Avery, or not Avery, the same forged carbon wrap that I have on the roof, because like I did not want to deal with the gloss black and how much it gets scratched up. Even up here, I didn't do this because like there are a few lights that you can see blinking, and I just didn't want to wrap around it, but like just wiping it a little bit, it's already a few micro scratches, and I just didn't want that on the dash. But yeah, as far as interior goes, that is basically it. I have these WeatherTech style floor mats I got from Amazon. If you guys remember, I had the IMT always on switch set up right there. And then as far as the trunk goes, is a real basic setup. I have the TB Performance strut bar right here. Had I known there was actually a strut bar underneath of here already from factory, I would not have wasted my money on that, but you live and you learn, right? And then I have this little like bed sheet cover on here for whenever I put my wheels and tires on, so it doesn't mess up the carpet. I also have these like little foam paddings right here to keep. I also have one in here and in here because like with the suspension and the pitch stop mounts, this thing definitely rumbles. Oh yeah, I guess I completely forgot about that. Is I have the Delta X pitch stop mount, which definitely helped improve shifting a lot, which actually tomorrow I'm gonna go ahead and get the version 2.0 bushing installed. He just sent that to me right now, but if you guys want to see that video, you're gonna have to wait till next week for that one to be uploaded. As far as the back goes, it's very simple. I have the same style WeatherTech. I have my kid seats in here whenever they ride with me, and then I take them out whenever I go to the track. But yeah, not too bad in terms of like Interior, it's very, very basic. I have my 2 racing seats to save as much weight as possible. Hug me in. My Morizo shift knob. My IMT always on. I have my quad lock phone mount. That's how I get my view whenever I'm looking that way. But yeah, guys, in terms of like interior, that is basically it as well. So once again, thank you guys for watching. That is basically everything done to my car that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh yeah, obviously the rear wiper delete from Morizo, or the Morizo rear wiper, not from Morizo, but the Morizo edition rear wiper delete, to save that extra 2 pounds, you know. It's all about the weight savings. But yeah, guys, not too bad. Very, very basic, very, very to the point, gets the job done. I can track it, I can have fun with it, I can drive it home, I can drive it there, and we're all good. I don't have to worry about trailering it. Who knows, I may go a lot more in-depth later on. I'm definitely working with Graham from Boosted to get this car tuned soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. But yeah, guys, that's it. So I'm trying to make this video as short, but I guess as detailed as possible. And right there, phone already overheating. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, later.